I was 22 years old and had just moved into my first apartment alone. Everything felt exciting, but also a little scary living by myself for the first time. About a month after moving in, I needed a couch. Buying a brand new one was way too expensive, so I started browsing Craigslist, hoping to find a good deal. After scrolling for nearly an hour, I finally found one. The couch in the pictures looked almost brand new. No stains, no tears, perfectly clean. And the price? Shockingly cheap. Almost too cheap. Still, I clicked on the listing. The seller didn't provide a phone number, only an email address, sofaseller247@gmail.com. Something about that email gave me a strange feeling, like it didn't match the clean, professional photos of the couch. But I ignored the feeling. I sent him a message with my offer. Less than 5 minutes later, he replied. That alone made me pause. His message was short. He accepted the offer and immediately asked for my home address so he could deliver the couch. That made my stomach tighten. I didn't like the idea of a stranger coming to my apartment. So I replied, suggesting I'd rather pick it up myself. But he kept insisting. Over and over again. He said delivery would be easier, that I shouldn't worry. The more he insisted, the more uncomfortable I felt. Eventually, I stopped replying. I figured that would be the end of it. But the next day, I received another email from him. This time, he sent me his address. I stared at the message for a long time. Part of me didn't want to go, but another part of me kept thinking about the price. It felt like such a good deal, almost impossible to pass up. And according to the address, he didn't live far from me. So, after thinking about it way too long, I grabbed my keys and drove over. When I arrived on his street, something immediately felt off. All the houses looked normal, except his. His house was smaller than the rest and looked strangely neglected. Paint peeling, windows dirty. Still, I walked up to the front door and rang the bell. A few seconds later, the door opened. A middle-aged man stood there wearing a baseball cap. He smiled, not a friendly smile, but one that felt forced, too wide, too eager. "Come in," he said. I hesitated, but stepped inside anyway. The moment I entered, my chest felt tight. The air inside smelled stale. He led me into the living room, and there it was, the couch. But the second I saw it, I realized something was wrong. It looked nothing like the photos. There were scratches, small tears, and stains along the armrests. I frowned. "This doesn't look like the one in the pictures," I said. He didn't deny it. He just kept smiling and said he could lower the price. That made my skin crawl. "I'm not interested," I said quickly, and I turned to leave. That's when things got truly disturbing. As I walked toward the door, I suddenly felt his hand on my shoulder. I froze. His voice dropped into a low whisper. He said, "I can give it to you for free, if you give me something in return." My heart slammed in my chest. I pulled away from him instantly. Without saying another word, I rushed outside, got into my car, locked the doors, and drove away as fast as I could. I didn't even look back. But that wasn't the end. Not even close. That same night, I was lying in bed watching TV, trying to calm myself down. That's when I heard it. Heavy footsteps on my porch. My heart skipped. I muted the TV. Silence filled the room. Then, I heard someone touching my front doorknob, slowly turning it, testing it. My body went cold. I quietly got out of bed and tiptoed toward the front door. My hands were shaking as I leaned forward and looked through the peephole. Nobody. They were gone. But then, I heard something else. The sound of my backyard gate opening and closing. That was enough. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911. As I spoke to the operator, I heard it again, this time at my back door. Someone was trying the handle, twisting it, over and over. My voice trembled as I shouted, "The police are on their way." Seconds later, I heard the gate open again, then silence. They were gone. That happened a month ago. Nothing else has happened since. But even now, I struggle to sleep at night. Because deep down, I'm almost certain it was him. The man with the couch. And I believe he followed me home. I was searching for a car for my son's 18th birthday. All the usual sites, cars.com, eBay Motors, were too expensive. Craigslist was the only place that had a reasonable deal. After about a week, I found a listing that seemed perfect. A 2003 Honda Accord with 67,000 miles, no accidents, no damage, and in good condition, for only $3,500. It felt almost too good to be true. The seller's name on the listing was Daniel, and the phone number matched. He lived only about 15 minutes away, which seemed convenient. I called him, and he sounded completely normal. He assured me the car was in perfect condition and said I could come see it anytime. I brought $3,500 in cash, planning to negotiate a bit if needed. I arrived at his address early and immediately noticed the house looked unusual. A small, older home, garage wide open yard, surprisingly empty, except for an old pickup. I walked closer. The house numbers were correct, but the doorbell was missing. I knocked and waited. 5 long minutes. Confused, I called Daniel's number. I could hear his cell phone ringing inside the house. Something didn't feel right. I peeked through a window. Inside, I could see a dining room set from the 80s, but across the room, something froze me in place. There, standing at the back door, was a figure. At first, I thought it was Daniel. But as I got closer, I realized it wasn't moving. Not at all. It was a taxidermy human figure, a lifeless statue staring straight outside. My heart skipped several beats. I stumbled backward, ran to my car, and drove away as fast as possible. Before leaving, I glanced back and saw 2 window blinds bent open. Somebody, or something, was watching me from inside. Even now, thinking about it sends shivers down my spine. No car ever appeared. The property was full of spare car parts, and the figure, the taxidermy human. Everything pointed to one thing. He was never selling a car. I had narrowly avoided becoming a lifeless statue, just like the one I saw. After that day, I never used Craigslist to buy big items again. And even now, I still check over my shoulder whenever I pass a house with someone watching. I was looking for a used smartphone on Craigslist. I found a Samsung Galaxy S6 for $200. The seller claimed it was in perfect condition, upgrading to a newer phone. Since I didn't know much about testing phones, I brought my younger brother, who knew more. We agreed to meet at a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot around 10 p.m., a neutral public place. When we arrived, 2 large men stepped out of a black sedan. They didn't look friendly. One held out the phone. It was spotless. My brother tested it with my SIM card. Everything worked perfectly. Then the man said he wanted $250 instead of $200. I only had $200, so I handed it over. We got back into my car and started driving home. At first, I didn't notice anything, but then I saw the black sedan following us, close behind. Every turn we made, it stayed behind us. It wasn't just coincidence. My brother suggested pulling over. I refused. Something in my gut told me they were dangerous. I started driving faster, trying to lose them. At one intersection, the light turned red, and I floored it across the road before other cars could pass. It was risky, but it worked. The black sedan disappeared. Finally, we reached home. I thought it was over. Later that night, while setting up my new phone, I heard 2 car doors slam outside. My heart stopped. Looking out the window, I saw the black sedan parked across the street. The men were already close to our house. I woke my dad immediately. He grabbed a baseball bat and crouched near the front door. Then came a loud knock. One of the men threatened us, saying they had a gun and would break the door if we didn't open it. I called our neighbor, Officer Mike, who lived 2 doors down. He told me to stay hidden. Then, a silenced gunshot. The bullet hit the front door just inches from my dad's head. I froze. My heart almost stopped. Officer Mike rushed over. After tense moments, the men lowered their weapons and were arrested. That night was the scariest moment of my life, but also the moment I felt most grateful to be alive. Even now, thinking about the black sedan in the shadows, the fear comes rushing back.